He was a rocker who liked fast cars and even faster women.
Sex. That's the greatest thing about being a musician.
His passion for music was rivaled by only one thing.
I've gone to his hotel room on occasion, and there have been more women there than I would count on one hand.
But his addiction to sex finally forced Chris Gaines to seek help.
Fortunately, he did get help, because if he didn't, he was headed down a path that was just destructive.
Chris Gaines' solo career took him to the top of the charts. Then his manager took him to the cleaners.
I turned Chris Gaines from a nobody into a superstar.
His world tours were renowned for their outrageous antics.
I remember going over to Chris's house. He was packing a chainsaw on his back.
There was a chainsaw on tour, yes, there was.
When he lost his best friend, he almost lost his way.
Heaven knows I'm head over heels and it shows.
I know they were close. They had a brother thing going.
Chris's face was horribly disfigured in a spectacular car crash.
You live with your face for 25 years and then just have it totally reshaped. It's not an easy thing to...
But he came back to fight another day.
He basically had said to them, you know what, I'm the king now, and you're going to answer to me.
Now, rock's mystery man revealed, behind the life of Chris Gaines.
Goodness gracious. Where to begin with with a man,
the myth,
the illustrious
Christopher Gaines. Everybody.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
You may be saying, who? Who the fuck? What the fuck? And you'd be right to ask those questions, Stoppies, because I think everybody involved in the creation of the album that we are going to be discussing today desperately wants to forget what brought us to this point in 1999 when multi-platinum selling superstar country artist Garth Brooks needed some motivation to lose 30 pounds and decided that the way to do it was to reinvent himself as an alter ego that is like Chris Angel crossed with fucking Chris Cornell with a press-on soul patch.
Well, I mean, look, yeah, that's the look. He's got this look like he's like Nikki Sixx or something.
Yes, the little Lee press-on soul patch and the guy liner, and
you listen to the album though, and it's just like proto Train. It's like not at all a rocker shit.
Oh god, now Counting Crows. I mean, it's
It's the.
I think you're doing Adam Dirt's a little dirty with that there. Shout out to Counting Crows.
No.
Big shout out to Counting Crows.
I'm talking about what I think he was going for, like that late 90s Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Counting Crows.
Well, he's certainly got the Goo Goo haircut. He certainly got that Goo Goo flat iron going, and it's like, this is who I am now, except it's not who I am, except I'm gonna stunningly and shockingly commit to this bit. And then immediately drop it. I mean, I don't
because you cannot find this record. It's not on iTunes.
No.
It is not streaming on Amazon. You can barely even get any of the tracks on YouTube. You can get covers.
But luckily, somehow, you had a physical copy of this album.
Yes.
Which seems as good a
What's
time
the
as
story
ever.
behind that?
All right.
Well, maybe we should introduce our guest and actually tell you what this show is. It's easy to be disoriented, and we need some help to navigate navigate this experience. So we have invited Lisa McColgan on the show today.
Hello.
And I do have a bio that I found from your Facebook, so I will.
Oh, my Facebook bio. Oh, my God.
I know, right? So your Facebook profile describes you as a writer, database vixen, bongo Sarah, total witch,
yes,
ne'er-do-well, and malcontent.
I am all those things.
You are also a member of the B-52's cover band Bikini Whale.
I am.
But you're also currently working on developing a podcast as well, right?
I am developing a podcast.
And tell us about that, and then we'll inevitably get back around to Chris Gaines.
To why I have that record. So yeah, I am working on a podcast now called Stay Scary, and it's about horror movies, but rather than talking about specific films, the goal is to talk about specific tropes and themes in horror movies, such as the trope of the final girl. So in most slasher movies, there's usually, and I need you to be on that one. To talk to me about final girl.
Oh, that sounds great.
The virginal girl, the one that doesn't, because the people who have sex are inevitably the ones that get the pitchfork
of course
plunged through them. But the nice girl emerges covered in blood at the end of the movie every time.
If I was going to do a podcast, though, I'd do it about the cool kids who have sex and then die.
We can talk about that.
That would be the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
Cool kids who have sex and die.
Yes. I mean, that's basically the story of Chris Gaines, isn't it, right?
He was the cool kid. He didn't get a pitchfork plunged through him, but he did get a Lee Press-on soul patch.
I mean, I guess the pitchforks were courtesy of the mainstream media at the time and all of his fans, and everyone who was deeply confused by whatever this fucking was.
Yeah.
I wonder if he did get the pitchfork, as in like a bad review on Pitchfork.
Yeah, was Pitchfork? Pitchfork was around in 99,
I seem to remember that people were pretty kind to him. Like, it's not bad.
Well, it seems like he was going through a time.
Which is wrong.
Yeah,
which is the wrong take.
That is correct.
The wrong thing for people to tell him.
This isn't fine. I don't think Garth Brooks was fine when he was. I'm gonna go when we actually get into this. I have some weird psychoanalysis that I've been doing of like of Garth's mindset at the time and
doing Chris Gaines.
All right.
Yeah, what was going on?
There's also I want to get into the elaborate Chris Gaines backstory that was concocted for him to be the background character of another movie, another character's movie.
Oh my God!
And I also though want to talk about why do you have a physical copy of this album?
All right.
Oh yes. Exactly.
Back in the 90s, my siblings and I were going through a phase of what's the most fucked up thing we can get one another for birthday presents. And I can't remember if my brother or my sister got me this record, but it was pretty messed up. But I think my brother ultimately won the competition when he got me a copy of the Dr. Laura Schlesinger game.
Oh my God!
It's a game, an Ask Dr. Laura game. I did not take it out of the shrink wrap for years. I was so terrified.
You didn't sit down right with your siblings right then and play a sex game.
No, Dr. Laura. Dr. Laura was like
Laura was a conservative.
Uber. No, that's Dr. Ruth.
Oh.
No, Dr. Laura is like this right wing, like terrible.
Wait. I remember.
She
was like a talk. She did talk radio.
Talk show. Yeah. So the Ask Dr. Laura game, and it has like these little phones and stuff. It's really messed up. So maybe I'll have a party in my house and
just listen to Chris Gaines on full volume.
To Chris Gaines and play.
Oh, by the way, you're listening to Make It Stop.
Nice
music.
segue.
Good times.
I'm Mike Dunn.
And I'm Heather Mack, and we're doing this. We just conventions be damned. If Garth Brooks can reinvent himself, can't we all have an alter ego? What would your alter ego be, Mike Dunn? If you could reinvent yourself as something that is so confoundingly unnecessary, what would it be?
I guess I'd be a Guy Fieri drag queen named Tony with an I, Aioli.
Tony Aioli.
Yeah. Tony Aioli.
That's a great one.
Nice.
You've been hiding that one in your back pocket.
It's gonna make a record.
All you need
is
a soul patch. Once again, all you really need is
the soul patch and a lot of disposable income.
To be fair, Guy Fieri has a full goatee. And,
okay.
You know, let's
so you got to put that in the budget.
There's a lot of spirit gum to put that on.
He's one of the like 4 guys that looks good with a goatee.
He doesn't look good with a goatee.
Him, his evil brother, Paul Hollywood.
Oh my God.
The Rock, and Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
I'd go with Alan Rickman. I don't know about The Rock with a goatee.
I think The Rock really pulls off a goatee. They're the only 4 men who can pull off a goatee.
All right.
The Mount Rushmore of
goatees.
Acceptable goatees.
One person who does not pull off a goatee, Chris Gaines.
Which is why he didn't do it.
He couldn't even commit to a goatee. He put one toe in the water and did a soul patch. He patched on some hair, but he could not find a soul anywhere to be found in all 12 or 13 songs on this deeply ill-conceived album.
Soul.
Lord, is he trying?
Well, let's get into this backstory stuff, because this is very strange and fascinating.
It is way more strange and fascinating than the music. Spoiler alert, guys. The music is
we're putting that off because it's
really beige. It's Miracle Whip on Wonder Bread.
Yes. Open faced. That's your lunch.
Wouldn't it have a festive smear of Vegemite due to his Australian roots? Let's go ahead. Let's talk about actually just the facts of what this is. So this album came out directly after Sevens, that was sold 12 million copies or something like that. Very, very popular. He was at the top of his game and in the late 90s, and for some reason just inexplicably decided to hairpin turn and reinvent himself as a tortured rock god that never existed. And the backstory of this tortured rock god is that he grew up, his name is Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Never
Chris
Christopher,
Gaines. Just
Chris. Grew up in Australia, so inexplicably Australian. There's no attempt to make an Australian accent. They cast an Australian lady to be his fake mom in the fake Behind the Music, which you heard at the beginning of this show. That was the first 2 minutes of the Behind the Music that was made about this artist that didn't exist.
Beyond that,
the promotional blitz.
Beyond that, Chris Gaines was conceived of as not just for this Behind the Music thing, but they were going to make an entire movie called The Lamb. The screenplay was written for.
The Lamb.
It's unclear exactly what The Lamb is about. It's some kind of psychological thriller.
Yes, it's apparently he's supposed to die within the first 5 minutes of the film, and
Chris
then it
Gaines
follows.
is not the main character in the movie. He is a background character.
About the fake movie about his fake life.
But we also know
where he dies immediately.
Yes. And does us all a favor.
But yeah, he has this elaborate backstory where his co-songwriter and best friend died in a plane crash, and he got in.
Because they all die in a plane crash.
Then he got in a car crash, and his face got fucked up, and then it just looked like Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks with his head tilted down and his cheeks sucked in.
If you
look at this picture and Stoppies, you need to look that shit up. It's hilarious.
He has this wig, I don't know,
stringy, flat iron.
Like a Trent Reznor wig.
Yeah.
The Fragile era Trent Reznor.
Oof. So the fake rock star loses his best friend in a car crash, goes solo, and sells millions and millions of records. His dad is a disappointed dad who wanted him to be a swimming star. He was an Olympic swimmer or Olympic swim coach.
Did they show Garth Brooks his face photoshopped onto some guy in a Speedo? Because I don't remember, because that would have been awesome.
I just wanted to make you proud of me, Pop.
That is actually a little bit similar to the real life story of Lars Ulrich.
Wait,
remember we had Megan Ashley on? They were talking about
that's right.
His dad wanted him to be a tennis star.
Oh yeah. So they stole that. Then they stole the Buddy
Lars
Holly.
Then they stole I decided to be a drummer and collect a lot of really fucking expensive paintings.
Dad, I just want to be a drummer. God.
How is this real?
Only a fucking drummer.
And then they stole the Big Bopper, like, you know, plane crash situation.
Yeah, or like Randy Rhoads.
And then
Aaliyah, everybody who dies in a plane crash.
Because of course, so the plane crash, then sad dad or like disappointed dad gets cancer and dies and still doesn't appreciate his son's success.
And all these rending emotional, you know,
so he parties with all these women in a chainsaw in his hotel room.
Yeah,
and
right.
All this excess and all this crazy shit going on in his life, and the songs that come out of him, this character Chris Gaines, what he expresses to the world is like...
It's like a Sanka with like NutraSweet.
Yes. Oh my God.
Sanka with NutraSweet.
That is
a
so
non-dairy
correct.
creamer.
This is a non-dairy creamer of an album. Let me tell you fucking what. So, okay, and like the part that makes it so absurd is that they also take great pains to discuss how, Chris Gaines is such a wild man and a sex addict, that he's addicted to sex.
He's a sex addict.
He has more women than you can count on one hand, apparently, in one room.
Missionary with the lights out.
Yeah.
That is Chris Gaines.
When I look at Chris Gaines, I do
like Chris
think...
Cornell.
I think sex god.
Yeah.
When I see that face.
Yeah. Look like a 35-year-old like Trent from Daria, like washed up, still trying to make it in Mystic Spiral. Like that's what this motherfucker looks like.
What do you guys think of Garth Brooks? Like the real Garth Brooks?
I'm not a big contemporary country music person, but from all like reports, like he's a decent dude. He's very like pro LGBTQ. There's actually, and you should look this up on YouTube, back when the Muppet Show did like a revamp, like in the mid to late 90s, the Muppet Show did like a brief like reboot.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Garth Brooks is on an episode of it, and he's like, he's doing Fiddler on the Roof. He's Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof, and he's like kicking the gonzo chickens off the roof of the... and it's actually really funny. Like, he seems like a decent dude who just thought this was a good idea.
I want to unpack that.
Okay.
Why? What compelled this to happen? It had to have originated from Garth Brooks himself.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it seems like... So I was thinking about this in the context, because we've also discussed the Bruno and the return of Bruno, and it was like, Bruce Willis trying to reinvent himself as a... or like Bruce Willis performing as a rock star. And the whole story that they invented for that with the mockumentary and all that stuff was that he was like... and he inserted himself as a rock god in every single musical movement in history Bruno was responsible for. In this case, Garth Brooks invented this backstory for his fake, character or his alter ego that was like just beset by tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like he would.
It wasn't fun like Bruno's life.
No, there was nothing.
He invented R&B.
But in a way, it's like it's the polar opposite of what Garth Brooks is. I got friends in low places. That song, where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases.
That's Garth Brooks.
That's Garth Brooks.
The only song I know by Garth Brooks is In the Thunder Roll.
Well, yeah, just like, good.
So
happy.
So he was thinking like, I need an edge or something. Like I'm too bland, I'm too boring. I'm like, my life isn't
interesting. This is not how you get an edge.
My theory is that Garth Brooks was frustrated drama club kid who, became a country artist, but he still had all of these dramatic writings in his spiral notebooks, and he's just like, I'm going to create something dramatic, but it is the most sophomoric.
Yes.
It is just full of every cliche that you can possibly imagine. And so I just sort of feel like, this is him getting his theater shit out.
Yeah, or something.
And I say this as a theater person.
But it's not even there's no drama to these songs. They're just so bland.
The songs are candy ass.
Yeah.
And they don't matter match the torture
at all.
And it's like you can see what he wanted to do with when you watch the documentary and stuff, and read the backstory,
which you all really should. It is very fucking funny.
It's a send up of like all like those behind the musics at the time. Like I remember, I think one of the first ones I watched was the one about Leif Garrett, and it was just like, oh my god, this guy, like this teeny bopper guy who like practically killed his best friend in a car accident and became a heroin addict. And
well, it sounds
just like the Motley Crue story too.
Well, I mean they all
and that's why it's like it almost feels like, was this supposed to be like a send up of that? Was it supposed to be a parody? But it wasn't. It could have been. It could have been a really funny parody, but like obviously the music doesn't match it, and he clearly took it very seriously because he introduced it like to the world by hosting SNL as Garth Brooks and introducing Chris Gaines as a musical guest. He like went on a tour promoting
green
this
that
shit.
Or something.
I'm not, because you can't find it. It's not on. You can't find it on YouTube.
And it's just wild. Like the documentary itself, it's like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Fucking milquetoast, like nothing, like easy listening ballad
thing, like the chainsaw,
and then there's a chainsaw,
like,
and then he's like, so in this documentary where he's supposed to be getting, as you say, getting his theater shit out, he's really just like dispassionately, like totally like one note, like looking well, and then I found myself, and then I lost myself, and I found myself again. Like, there's no emotional depth whatsoever to anything.
Well,
he's a bad actor.
He's a very bad actor.
Because, like, he's...
Hence why they wanted to kill him off in the first 10 minutes of his starring movie.
Yeah, that's why they never made the movie at all.
Yeah, they were like,
that's why it never got off the ground, nor did Chris Gaines' album. This thing sold...
And then he just had all of this, like, milquetoast music that, like, he couldn't put out under himself because his fans would be like, what the fuck is this shit?
I don't understand. Like, who was this appealing to? Like, and let's remember this.
Here's what I think went wrong. I don't think that Garth Brooks has any sort of understanding of what makes good rock music.
Right.
I think he's so entrenched in like the country world. And like if you look at the songwriters on this album, it's pretty much like almost all the songs are written by the 4 dudes who wrote If I Could Change the World by Eric Clapton.
Oh God.
And it really shows.
Yeah.
If you just listen to every song knowing
it is an album of its time. Like,
but actually it's not. That's the thing that I was going to bring up, is that this is 1999. Yeah. This is when fucking Limp Bizkit and Korn were at the top of the rock charts.
There are synthetic Casio horns on this album.
There are.
Adult contemporary.
Multiple.
I was thinking more like
but even adult contemporary of this era, like, like it was already on its way. Like 1999?
Yeah.
Like that was on its way out. That whole shit was like, it's over. But like we want to listen to Linkin Park, you know?
That's when that
Methods
album...
of Mayhem came out.
Oh God.
That is when that album Hours by David Bowie came out, which is also adult contemporary.
Yeah.
Maybe there was just like a whole adult contemporary wave going on in the late 90s that we were completely oblivious to, that these guys were jumping on.
I guess.
And it ultimately became vaporwave.
I don't think any of the songs on this album could be saved by vaporwave.
It sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, I know. Stoppies, please remix Chris Gaines' Right Now.
The music doesn't match the mayhem.
No.
With Chris Gaines.
No, none of it. Yeah. So I guess we should maybe get into it.
Let's listen to these.
So this is the first song on the album. This is what's going to set the tone for everything that we're going to listen to. It's called That's the Way I Remember It, and nobody does. So let's listen.
In between, never will be that way again. Maybe it was that way I went to my heart and soul. This is the way the story has to be told. That's the way I remember it.
Woo! This is how you want to convince the world that you're a tough, angsty rocker.
With a chainsaw.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
With the chainsaw. You can hear the chainsaw delicately being revved in the background.
That's the way.
Sexing 12 girls at once to this daddy-daughter dance song. You want to be everything to everyone, Garth, and somehow you were nothing to no one on this, and everything to follow.
He's just got that high little tenor that he's singing in, which is,
Yeah, he is. It's not the prototypical country voice. I'm realizing now. He's not a high baritone like all the other guys.
And as a singer, I can sort of appreciate the change to his vocals on this, and how he just managed to make himself sound fairly different from his twangy
from his good to the people who enjoyed it music, I guess. It's different, that's for sure. It's music to eat an Auntie Anne's pretzel at the mall to.
Unsalted.
Unsalted.
Please give me
no mustard.
Yep. Oh God.
Yeah, just
no mustard. Only chainsaws.
And extra large, extra sweet iced tea.
It's a commercial for a fibromyalgia drug.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like.
And it's playing. It's playing. It's the music that's playing when you're shopping for supplements at Walgreens.
Yes,
that's what's playing over there.
It'd be funny if Jason Mraz watched that the SNL that he hosted and was just like, oh my God, it just changed his life and launched him, made him the man he is today.
Mind blowing.
Because this is proto Mraz if there ever was any.
Oh yeah.
Proto Mraz.
Proto Mraz.
Yeah, this sucks though. It's
really bad.
It's
it's so maudlin and meandering and hacky
and it's also just like syrupy, like.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
And you can definitely hear the team behind it.
Right.
If I could change the world on this one. Except Babyface produced that song, so at least it had some dynamics. The production on this album is like
very thin.
It sounds unmastered.
Yeah. Very thin.
Yeah, it's really bright and
it's deeply forgettable. These songs really do blend into each other.
It doesn't stick with you.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is a good thing, but it's
audio margarine.
Yeah. Let's listen to
I can't believe it's not Garth Brooks.
Let's listen to another one.
All right, let's go ahead.
This one's the hit.
Okay, so this was a hit. It reached number 5 on the Billboard chart.
Highest charting song that's like from the not the country chart.
Not a country song, yeah.
And apparently, so this was like right behind Say My Name. Like this was up on the charts.
Really? Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, with Destiny's Child.
That was another thing that was happening in 1999. It was like all new metal and like really good like R&B and like
R&B.
I don't remember them ever playing like Chris Gaines on MTV or anything.
No,
it was strictly VH1.
Everybody just turned away.
This was still when like MTV was for the Ute. And
I was
VH1,
a youth. I was watching it.
See, and I was not, but and VH1 was for the olds, and so I kind of fell like in between there. But I was thoroughly addicted to those behind the music documentaries because I
were great.
Love stuff like that.
Did you like have a reaction to this? Like, was this
My
enough of the?
My reaction was sort of like, huh?
Yeah.
Well, good for him. Bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart. I'm not really sure why he's doing this, but, good for him for trying. I'm not even going to say...
He did try.
I'm not even going to say...
Lord knows he tried.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
there's a lot of effort going into...
So I was like, do I say A for effort? Because there's a lot of freaking, effort that went into this, whole thing.
It sounds like he put a lot of effort into everything but the music, you know?
Well, right. He had all this,
He spent a lot of time contriving this persona and storyline and wasted all the budget on the soul patch and the fucking invented angst.
He just had... crates of soul patches just palletized in his garage.
Maybe if I make it bigger, then they'll like it.
and if this had really taken off and he went on tour as Garth Brooks, then they could sell little stickers
as Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines, and do the little soul patches along with the t-shirts.
Did he really? How could he think that this was going to take off. Like, this was a flightless fucking album from the very beginning, but...
I guess he thought people would be excited by, oh, wow, a country guy went rock?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And this is the kind of rock that he went, so
rock.
let's listen to it.
Let's do Lost in You.
Lost in You.
Said that I've been forever deep enough. My angel from above, heaven knows I'm head over heels and it shows. I've played every field, I suppose.
Oh, that little sex addiction reference there. I've played every field, I suppose.
I suppose.
A lot of...
Can't you tell he's a sex addict who's reeling from the death of his best friend, who's suffering his the loss of his father. Oh yeah, so wait, also we should be, this is the name of this album. We haven't even said the name of the album, but it is In the Life of Chris Gaines, or it's Chris Gaines's greatest hits.
His greatest hits.
It's like named two names, but either way, it's supposed to be a collection of his greatest hits throughout his entire, multi-talented, multifaceted career, where he's experienced all these, dramatic ups and downs and all of that. So really comes through with songs like fucking Lost in You. Right?
Lost in You.
Definitely a really weird move to start the album off with two acoustic ballads, like sappy, garbage.
Like the high whining falsetto and like this flaccid faux Spanish guitar. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it sounds like a tossed off, like, late era Backstreet Boys track.
Yeah.
Like,
It sounds like
I can just see AJ straddling across the back of a chair with his soul patch, making sweet, sweet love to the camera.
Exactly.
It's definitely what we'll be playing at Talbot's in 1999.
Yes. This is a high-waisted, pleated pant of a fucking song. This is like a Chico's. I don't even know if we're Talbot's.
I don't think it's Talbot's. This
isn't even Talbot's material.
This is like contempo casual.
Oh my god.
I feel like Chico's would have been a little cooler. They would have been playing "Oh, the Sweetest Thing" by U2 in '99.
Yeah. What is the appeal of this?
I don't know.
Who is interested in this?
Well, it didn't sell. There wasn't much appeal to it.
Don't know a lot about music like this song. I sort of feel like it's just.
It was a lot of people.
Well,
it reached number 5.
Well, I mean, don't underestimate.
I want to look at which songs it beat out. Like, what were the other songs that were on the charts?
That were less popular than Lost in You.
The album itself did not sell very well by Garth Brooks standards.
No.
It sold like 700,000 copies, which
and yet somehow
in 1999 was
copy.
Horrible. In 1999, if you sold 700,000 copies of a record, you were shit.
Yep.
But like they printed 2 million copies of it.
Yep.
So like, and also I checked on Amazon, and to buy this album new, it's like $40 on CD.
It's insane.
Which is crazy if they overprinted by that much. So that means that there must just be a crater on the moon.
Yeah,
full
there's
of these fucking
it's right
Chris
next to all those ET Atari games in like New Mexico, buried under the underground. Yeah, so let's see. Let's find out the Hot 100 this week.
Okay.
So it was
there
number 5. It beat out Smooth by
Oh, wow.
and All-Star that week.
Smooth.
Oh, so yeah, and Rob
and
Thomas.
Bills. It was ahead of Bills.
It was ahead of All-Stars.
Oh, wow. Only beat out by Genie in a Bottle and Summer Girls by LFO.
And Balamor.
That was number 1.
Let the rhythm take you over, Balamor.
God, I'm desperate for a rhythm to be taking me over at this point.
Yeah, nothing's taking you over, but just the sense of why.
Yeah, I'm bored. I'm taken over by boredom. We can listen to the next song.
I guess we
also
can.
Boring. Called "A Snow in July."
Oh God, so stupid. July. Let's do it.
Sweet Island was strong. Oh. Now you're talking about your freedom. What is that you say? You suddenly declare to me your Independence Day. Caught me by surprise.
like he was trying to channel like a Kenny Loggins thing there. Richard Marx.
Just said Jamira Y.
Jamira Y.
I will say this is the first song that kind of made sense with how Chris Gaines looks. This is the type of music that the guy that looks like that might play, which is like boring, middle-aged,
vaguely funky
bar rock,
white boy,
like just like
pseudo funk.
This is what if you go into like one of the shitty tourist bars on Bourbon Street, they're playing this kind of music.
I wouldn't even. No, it's like a shitty bar in Boston. We're not making it to Bourbon Street.
If you go to the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston.
If you go to the Hard Rock Tuesday night,
if you go to any Hard Rock Cafe in America, this is what's happening.
Like a Bennigan's in the suburbs on a Friday night. That's where there's just a lot of much older women kind of doing the two-step shuffle.
I also feel like people who listen to jam bands like this kind of stuff. I don't know.
What? Nobody likes this. Nobody. Chris Gaines doesn't like this. Garth Brooks does not like this.
That's why you can't find this anywhere.
Right. Literally scrubbed from the records. Not on Amazon, not on YouTube.
This off. He has written this off.
We had to go analog for you stoppies. That's how serious this was.
We had to go and party like it's 1999.
Oh yeah. This is what a party in 1999 feels like?
I had to rip a copy for them.
Oh my God. Yes, we're not paying for we looked online and to get a new copy of this album, it was like $50 or something like $40 bucks. I was like,
you could also get it on cassette
for $20.
For $20.
Jesus. This whole song is apparently about a woman going frigid. And I'm like, that makes sense, consent can be revoked at any time.
When I hear this, my lagoon of mystery goes as dry and arid as the Sahara. There's no moisture happening.
Oh, man. No. God, it's as thirsty as his fucking hair. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah,
it's stunning. 3 songs in, and you're just like, how could
so bad.
And I guess I'm trying to figure out has he reconciled with this? Does he I was trying to find any comments he's made about this. What is going on? I read one article where somebody was trying to argue that this was brave. You know what I mean? That this was somehow
why? How?
This was not
brave.
Brave is
because white men should get credit for trying.
Brave is like Tori Spelling attempting to play Lady Macbeth. This is not brave.
But it's as ill-advised.
As ill-advised.
Yeah.
With that same level of bless your heart.
Hey, so for this next song, Drifting Away, I, for whatever reason, my copy of the CD, this song didn't work.
Okay.
Well, that's okay.
So what I did was I went on YouTube and I found a video of dude wearing bracelets and 5 rings.
Oh, jeez.
Being my Les Paul's my primary ex. Here, let's pull it up.
I'm gonna jam on my axe.
And so he actually plays over the actual song. So I did hear the actual song, but I also heard him trying to play it on his axe.
Oh my God, this is an
very
extra.
badly.
Oh man. This is wow.
Wow, I gotta see this dude.
I can't wait.
His axe.
I can't wait. Oh my God.
Les Paul is pretty much my main axe.
Oh my God, I hate him.
This is so funny.
This is a Chris Gaines fan right here.
Les Paul's studio standard. And then you can tell it's from the 90s because it says Gibson.
He's got spiky bracelets. He's got a Misfits bracelet.
Custom or studio.
Oh, look at his couch. Oh my God. This is like his mother's couch.
Plays great song,
For sure.
Worst that can happen.
God.
Fuck it right up.
Fuck it, right? What's the worst that can happen? That's exactly what Garth Brooks was thinking.
That is the proper attitude.
Oh my God, stop.
Can you stop? Oh, here we go.
That's Drifting Away.
He's got a gentle touch.
That's the only version of Drifting Away I've ever heard.
Oh, it's almost better.
It's better.
It's better.
It's better.
Bless him and his primary acts.
This guy is cooler than Chris Gaines.
Oh,
you know what?
For sure.
My God.
Even on that.
I mean, he does have 5 rings. So
and 8 bracelets.
How many rings does Chris Gaines have? None.
Probably a couple.
I mean, a couple.
Yeah, he's probably got like one of those like
a pinky ring.
A pinky ring and like
a toe ring,
a hematite on his thumb.
Oh yeah.
You know he's got like a hematite ring on his thumb.
You know he's not vaccinating his kids.
Chris Gaines. Is Chris Gaines an anti-vaxxer?
I think he talks about that in the song right now.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one.
And his wife sells essential oils.
Oh, yes.
Bless them.
And he's singing songs like Drifting Away, Drifting to Sleep. Like, fucking, with such an elaborate bad boy fake backstory, you would think that Homeboy would write a song that doesn't sound like fucking Kenny G singing to a house plant. Like, I just...
Like maybe that's what pulls in the chicks, man.
So many chicks are
because you know Chris Gaines was just like going through them like water.
So yeah, it was so many basements are flooded by the sweet dulcet tones of fucking Chris Gaines.
He just makes it so sexy to be bland.
Yes. What is happening?
Missionary with the Lights Out has never been so sexy.
He keeps his boxers on and just pulls his dick through the hole in front.
You know, he keeps his socks on.
The lights are always out when you cover your entire eyes with your flat iron bangs.
Bangs like flapping against his forehead, mumbling sweet nothings at you. Oh, baby.
Jesus.
He's got ranch in his flavor saver.
This song.
There's something else hidden in that valley.
Oh, man. Oh, God. This song definitely gives me, like, youth pastor trying to connect with the kids vibe,
hey,
you know?
Man, Jesus was just a misunderstood dude.
Rock star.
Yeah. That tracks. That definitely tracks.
This is supposed to be a rock album. I'm revoking your soul patch, sir.
There's no...
This is absurd.
There's no rock. This is driveway. This is driveway gravel. This is driveway gravel. White driveway gravel.
The lyrics are so bad too. Like there's one lyric where he just says it blows and nobody knows what it's gonna do, and I'm pretty sure that that's exactly like the attitude he made. Like he approached this album with.
Oh God!
And then then there's lyrics about teardrops falling from heaven's eyes,
which is like
nothing more dangerous rock star than.
Wait, he's just saying "Tears in Heaven." That's just another Eric Clapton song. Tears drop from heaven's eyes.
Right.
Tears.
If you saw my soul patch in heaven.
Oh, God.
I was gonna make a song like we made on the last episode, Heather, but I realized it'd be in exceptionally poor taste for Eric Clapton.
See, yes, we're not gonna do that.
I'm all about the poor taste. So
but
tell me later.
Even poorer
also,
taste.
fuck Eric Clapton. He's a racist piece of shit.
Yeah, he's.
But I'm not gonna.
He's problematic.
I'm not gonna talk about him.
Fucking his dead son.
You said it, not me.
I did.
Okay. This next song is called "The Way of the Girl."
Oh God, I hate this song.
"The Way of the Girl."
That's what you're gonna hear.
Starring Ryan Phillippe.
Because we're all
Benicio
like
del
this,
Toro.
and Chris Gaines knows.
Yep. Here we go.
Can't think straight since you found her. What's this creature about?
Creature. That's what it are. Hey! Creatures.
This is some flatulent guitar too, man.
Oh man.
Whew.
So the other instruments on the song, other than the guitar, sound like they were like recorded on a CD-ROM.
Oh yeah.
Program.
Yeah. The sassy Casio, like mall food court music, just continues.
I feel like he's trying to do Peter Gabriel on this song.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
This is like a wannabe Peter Gabriel.
It's a wannabe Peter Gabriel, but literally about like Chris Gaines being sent into a tailspin because a woman has an independent thought. Well, I'm sorry, not a woman, a girl and a creature.
Because that's just the way of the girl.
That's just the way of the girl.
Yeah, is that meant to evoke like like kung fu movie type shit, or
no, it's just like, she's done something crazy. That's just the way of the girl.
Oh, so it's not like an Eastern philosophy. The way the way of the girl.
There's
just
nary a philosophy to be found.
There's no philosophy.
This is the type of philosophy that Chris Gaines is serving. Quote, some made it for money, and some made it for love. Some made it for romance. My baby's all the above. What?
It's just
that sucks.
What does that mean?
What
are you fucking talking about?
I was like half asleep when I listened to this album, and there weren't many memorable lyrics in any songs except for Right Now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the one interesting song in the album that I came in to talk about.
Yeah. Should we just move on to the next one? Because this one's really fucking stupid.
We could move on to Unsigned Letter.
Oh, okay. This one, this is so bad.
I have some thoughts on this one.
I'm so glad I could
facilitate the
joy.
Yeah. We're in hell. Thanks, Lisa.
Your valuable family heirloom, the Chris Gaines album.
That's true. I still don't know which sibling to blame for that. I don't remember.
Your loss was our gains.
No!
Fuck!
All right. All right. Let's go ahead and play Unsigned Letter.
Specifically vague, intrinsic intrigue. It said everything when it just read come to me. She's always been that responsible someone, safe within her simplicity.
All right, this is 1,000% a Wallflowers song.
Yes.
That just is what it is.
It is discount Wallflowers, who are themselves already discount Tom Petty.
Yes. Done. It's mic drop.
It's a copy of a copy of a copy, and it's faded.
The lyrics are about like flying into a fantasy to Boston, going to Boston.
Like I couldn't figure out if it's like she's going to Boston like to make it, which
why would you? Right, exactly.
That's not where you go.
You can't afford to make it.
And B, if she's like reuniting with like an estranged relative and or lover.
Yeah. Whatever the fantasy is, if it involves coming to Boston, I suggest flying right the fuck back out of here, unless your fantasy involves being groped by drunk Sox fans in mid-afternoon in front of a 7-Eleven.
Yikes. Is our little plain Jane gonna risk everything?
Risk what? To do what?
Little plain
to go Jane. Where? To go to Boston, I guess?
It's the intrinsic intensity.
And like the whole song revolves...
That makes me scream every time. Oh.
Yeah, you're a writer. He's a wronger.
He's a wronger.
He's wronged us all. This whole song revolves around a letter not being signed, apparently. So like...
Or sent.
So, like, how is she supposed to make any choices as a result of it's unsigned? There's no...
I don't know. These songs are all about just, like, women with boring lives, I feel like. I don't know.
Women who
What was
yearning.
he trying to explore here?
I don't know.
To bed Chris Gaines?
Chris Gaines. All of these, complicated women that have flitted out of Chris Gaines's life like moths around a front porch light.
It's not good.
It's just
so bad.
It's just the way of Chris Gaines.
And it's so climaxless. It's just
there's no.
Yeah, I don't know how this story ends. Like, does she risk
These are his greatest hits, too.
Yeah. These are his greatest hits.
He was going to write entire albums. He was going to fill in the backstory of Chris Gaines by writing entire... He was going to write an album called he was going to star in a movie called The Lamb. I mean, yes, he was going to do all of this shit.
Until this album sold 700,000 copies.
It actually sold 2 million copies, but
No. They printed 2 million copies. Only 700,000 units were sold.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said the rest were in a crate or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
And that effectively buried Chris Gaines.
Yeah. It literally buried Chris Gaines in the ground.
Relegated him to the rest of everything that was bad about the late 90s.
To the great shopping mall in the sky. Yeah, it fucking sucks, man. Let's move on. Let's go to It Don't Matter to the Sun, which, spoiler alert, also sucks.
To me, 'cause it don't matter to the sun.
It really doesn't.
No. It doesn't matter to fucking anyone.
It doesn't matter to anyone who didn't buy this record.
It ain't gonna stop the world.
That's about all I can take.
I feel like this should have been like a lesser track on an actual Garth Brooks record.
I thought the same thing. This is just a regular country song.
Yeah,
actually.
he can't quite get the country out of him when he's doing all of this.
Yeah,
he slips into the twang a little bit on the song too. I think.
The only rocking he's doing is rocking my ass to sleep.
Or rocking myself back and forth, saying no.
Yeah, now that you mention it, we are kind of in a padded cell here, surrounded by acoustic foam paneling. Rockabye fucking career. Like, you're gonna lose all this weight and flat iron your hair and make everyone think you're fucking like nuts, like absolutely out of your mind for high quality outsider art. Like, it don't matter to the sun, my dude.
I thought he gained weight. For
No.
Did he actually even lose weight?
He did. He made a big thing about it.
His cheeks in.
No, he did. He lost like 30 or 40 pounds, and then he like made jokes about how he gained it all back later. Yeah, you got to eat your feelings after this insane decision that you made fell
like all
just this leap of faith directly into an empty pool of concrete.
He like very quickly backtracked though, right? Like didn't like less than a year later he released like another regular country album.
He never went back to it was never mentioned again.
He's never mentioned
stricken
it
from
again.
the record.
You can't. Then again, he doesn't make it available. It's just unavailable.
It's his greatest shame, I would assume.
As it should be.
As it should.
It's one of America's greatest shames, to be honest. Like,
it's just an atrocity. There's just a museum devoted to the horrors of Chris Gaines.
I mean, it feels like it. There should be, except what we'd all rather do is just fucking pretend it doesn't exist. Hide behind our bangs forever.
Well, if anything is an atrocity on this album, it's this next song.
Oh my God.
Which is called Right Now.
This is stunning. I have to get the part that's really, like...
It is the boil on the butt of this album.
Yes.
I'd say this album thus far has been largely forgettable, but I am not going to
forget this.
Right now.
Forget this.
So let's...
this is one for the Megastop history books.
Wow.
It's true. No, it really is.
This is what Chris Gaines...
This is Chris Gaines' Do They Know It's Christmas? Do they know it's Chris Gaines?
No, this is his What's Going On.
Oh, yeah.
This is the What's Going On. This is the Marvin Gaye period of Chris Gaines' life.
Marvin Gaines.
This is the
Marvin
song.
Gaines.
Let's go ahead and...
He's making his mark. He's got a message. The people need to hear it.
It's very timely.
Let me tell you what that message is, because we're going to hear it right now.
Maybe it's the movies, maybe it's the books, maybe it's the government and all the other crooks. Maybe it's the drugs, maybe it's parents, maybe it's the gangs or the colors that we're wearing. Or maybe it's the high schools, maybe it's the teachers, tattoos, paint bombs underneath the bleachers. Maybe it's the music, maybe it's the crack, maybe it's the Bible, or could it be the lack? Come on, smile on me, brother, everybody get together.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Oh my God. Maybe it's the crack.
Maybe it's the
Don't
Bible.
just stand there. Let's get to it. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Whoa.
Come on, woke.
Maybe it's the drugs. Maybe it's the parents. Maybe it's the gangs and the colors that they're wearing.
Maybe.
The gangs.
Maybe it's the brothers with the mothers with the guns. Maybe it's the addicts and the hippies and the communists.
Let me tell you who it's not.
Maybe it's the president. Maybe it's the last. Or maybe it's the one before that.
And then it ends with maybe it's the end. Dramatically. Because
you know what would be great,
the world's going to end without Chris Gaines's hot takes.
Is if we end society. This song and just say, maybe it's the end.
But maybe it's not. It's like Mac and Me. It was like, it's the end, or is it? It's actually the end. Let me tell you.
This is white supremacist, we didn't start the fire.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, this song is racist as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It's all these lines about, like, maybe black people keep themselves down.
Yeah.
Like, essentially, that's really what he keeps saying over and over again in so many words.
Yep.
The brothers
so
with the mothers
words.
with the guns.
Yep. Yeah. It's just, I'm shocked by how, like, elaborately ill-conceived this is.
Yeah.
Like, it's so shocking. Like, the jarring tonal shift between, like, a lazy old man, like, rapping about the cultural trends he'd like to see get off his lawn, and then just, like, juxtaposed with, come on, people now! Like, fucking down-home jamboree.
Together, but we're all in this together.
Yeah, and then he has this part where his spoken word says something like, if we don't talk about it, it ain't gonna ever get fixed.
Come on, talk to me. Let's talk.
I'm just a race realist. Basically.
Like, honestly, like, I think this is the song that, like, made him decide to, like, just shelve this forever.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean...
I'd like to believe
maybe it's the sex, maybe it's the system. Judges, lawyers, prisons. End of sentence.
And you said it. I didn't watch the whole documentary, but you mentioned that this is supposed to be his like swan song.
This is supposed to be the swan song. This is supposed to be when he comes full circle and has his redemption story arc, and he's cured from his sex addiction, and he has his, his beautiful brown girlfriend to save him. And
really, he's got a black girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh my god,
a Latina girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
This strong is his woman of color.
Yes, of course. Yeah, she finally teaches him how to.
She helped him
not be a womanizer.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Yes.
Oh man.
Right, and then so this is like his grand like. Let me see if I can actually find it, because honestly, like just hearing him talk about it at the end of the fucking video is just. It's so stunning. Give me a quick sec.
Okay.
Audiences responded to his new R&B influenced sound, snapping up the singles Snow in July and Driftin' Away. But Chris became convinced his label was trying to sabotage Triangle.
Yeah.
They didn't promote the album. Chris didn't feel like they supported it like they should have.
The problems that came with Triangle weren't with the people. The problems weren't with the music.
Oh my god, look at him.
The problems were with the record label and the industry.
One word: paranoia. The artist takes a position. If it's a success, I get it.
Moody.
If it's a failure...
Chris was so angry with the way his label handled Triangle that he
looks
sued
like,
to be released from his contract.
They have a golden goose.
I'll think of it in a
and
second.
they want to, shove something down its throat and kill it. Instead of being happy that they have it,
Next, Chris completes his most ambitious project to date.
Oh yeah,
this is his most ambitious.
It's by far the best piece I have ever got to work on.
When Behind the Life of Chris
And
Gaines
that is saying
continues.
something. Love one another right now.
Chris Gaines' roller coaster ride in rock and roll has lasted more than 15 chart-topping years. Through it all, he somehow managed to stay one step ahead of the times.
A lot of music doesn't hold
One
up
step.
well over time. I think Chris's will. It already has.
As 1999 got underway, Chris decided to take stock of his career by releasing a greatest hits package.
He's
Yeah.
at this point now where he has to deal with being an adult who makes rock and roll.
A sign of
We all
Chris's
have
growing
to deal
maturity
with
can
that.
be found in a new track on the greatest hits album. Right Now was the closest that Chris had ever come to recording a protest song.
Maybe it's the movies, maybe it's the books, maybe it's the government and all the other crooks. Maybe it's
I try to never get politically involved in anything because politics are all screwed up.
schools, maybe
Yeah, man.
two spike bombs underneath the bleachers.
I just got sick of the news one night. I guess I just got tired of it.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. The dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone say.
And this is the thing is that this was entirely fabricated. He could have come up with anything. And that's what he said. And he wrote his own lines. He wrote it. He created
I just got tired of the news, man.
I just got tired of it.
God, my eyes just rolled so far back in my head. I saw my brainstem. Like,
the part before this where he was talking about the story he was telling through like 2 Talking Head interviews was part 1. For me, it was the record label was the problem. It wasn't the music. It wasn't it was the record label. And then like the next interview is like, me and the record label, I just figured out that we just need to become partners. And it's like
that's the emotional climax.
That's the emotional climax. Is your record label is holding you
what
back,
a rock star.
So you negotiate to a
I'm gonna need you to let me write.
The conflict just goes away.
Write this rap rock anthem, man, because I'm tired of the news.
He is rapping sort of in the
rapping
in the verses.
Garth Brooks is rapping.
Bless him.
What? Why?
No, curse him.
Curse him.
Curse him.
He's not doing the best he ever did.
No, he's not living. No.
I wish he would go away.
All right.
Yeah, we had been in a little while since we had done a nice Godsmack callback, but here we are.
You gotta get him in when you can.
Yikes.
And there's still more to go.
There's quite a bit.
There's still more to go.
Okay. Should we move on?
Main Street.
Main Street,
okay.
Oh yes. And this is another one that I feel like should have just been on a frickin' regular Garth Brooks record.
Yeah, this one he's doing the accent completely, like, it's just out in full force.
All right, so this is Main Street.
Yeah, Wallflowers.
Yawn.
Yeah, I wrote Z.
It's aggressively forgettable. It's like as if every single melody, every single line on this song was designed to be as fucking...
It's the song that's rolling over
room temperature as possible.
The song that's rolling over the closing credits of a rom-com.
Yeah, but like a low budget, rom-com that nobody's gonna
A Hallmark movie rom-com.
Yeah.
Channel.
It's a discarded Uncle Cracker song. He didn't want it. It didn't make the album.
No.
I feel like I'm drinking 1% milk.
I'm just coming back to this idea that, like, I'm Garth Brooks and it's 1999 and I guess I'm tired of being very famous and, critically acclaimed and selling millions of records. It's time to slap on a Lisa Rinna haircut and whisper sing some assaultingly boring cliches about small town living over an acoustic guitar. Like, I think that's what that's what I need.
How are people supposed to react to this? Like, what was the intended effect? I don't know.
Because with all this hype, just think about how much hype went into this.
Well,
and how much preparation and how much thought. Sometimes we listen to music and we talk about music on the show where it's clear that, like, they didn't think about this at all. This was, calculated.
Yeah.
Is this just a pitfall in general? Like, are there any... Let's think of other musicians who have had alter egos. Like, are there any that have really worked out? Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
I mean, Ziggy Stardust.
Ziggy Stardust, yeah. I mean...
Ziggy Stardust, yes. That's like
Slim Shady.
I guess.
But...
Not really. Not working out great for him now.
These days, yeah. True.
Sasha Fierce, though, forgettable, though, I feel like.
I mean, she just became Beyonce, turns out.
Yeah. It was just... Sasha Fierce was just Beyonce with a different name, right?
Right, yeah. Beyonce can do whatever she fucking wants at this point.
She can wear a soul patch.
She can wear a soul patch, and I'll buy everything she's selling.
I'm just thinking of, like, movies that were, like, aggressively hyped and, huge, promotional campaigns.
This is the Water World.
It's the Water World.
It's Troy.
All right, I'm ready to wave my white flag.
He's ready to wave the white flag.
I'm ready. Trust me, I've been ready. But let's move on to the next one. This is called White Flag.
This battleground, it's high for sure, for indeed this war, 'cause my heart can't take it.
All right.
Again, this is
quite enough.
This is like bargain basement Richard Marx, you know?
Yeah.
I was thinking like this is like a karaoke cover version of like one of the deep cut Lenny Kravitz songs that never made the radio.
Yeah, that is literally, I wrote that it sounds like he's singing karaoke of himself. Like, it sounds like he's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny? Like that is kind of like, you know, what this maybe this is just a way for him to go sing karaoke to Garth Brooks songs. And like, he's like, I'll be Chris Gaines. I'll just go to a towny bar. And
just the production is just so aggressively awful.
Thin and high-pitched.
Bright and
the bass...
It's
an obvious direct in. It's a direct in bass that just seemed like wherever the controls fell where they may, they just left it as is.
Yeah.
It's just
I just don't understand. Again, this is supposed to be his greatest hits. This is supposed to have spanned his entire, you know, albeit fake career. But think about all the things that supposedly happened to Chris Gaines over this fucking career. Where is the song about holy shit, I lost my face? You know, like or like what's the song about like, you know, being a sex addict or like anything that has any sort of emotional depth or like any sort of storytelling whatsoever. There's none of that. There's no reference to any of these things that supposedly happened during his
there's no song about
life.
His friend that died.
His friend that died.
Or
there's nothing about
his complicated father-son relationship.
Yeah, all these things. We're supposed to just get it by watching the fake behind the music and having him dispassionately like, you know, mumble about like, and then there was, you know, I did this and it was sad.
I lost my Australian accent.
It all sucks.
Yeah,
every part of
from Australia. Somebody was saying, I read somewhere that like
on the Barbie.
Keith Urban was saying that there was like
ate my baby.
The storyline had like a lot in common with his life, and he was like wondering whether like Garth Brooks just like stole like Keith Urban's backstory,
Keith Urban's life,
and used that as the basis for this alter ego, which is a hilarious idea. What do we do with this? What is it?
It just every part of it sucks. Like, the documentary was boring. He's bad at acting. The songs are boring and,
they're
and
just
poorly,
cheesy idioms sung over session music played by some half-hearted dads.
And the production, I think this is like the most unpolished album we've listened to on the show, like since the Shags.
It wasn't, literally wasn't mastered.
Don't you be messing with my Shags.
No, we all agree that we love the Shags.
My cat's name is Footfoot.
Oh, great.
Footfoot, where will Footfoot go? What will Footfoot do?
I'm definitely more compelled by the story of Footfoot. There's more of emotional depth and range in My Pal Footfoot than there is in anything that this fucking album has to offer.
And the Shag story is much more compelling.
Oh,
than
absolutely.
The story of Chris Gaines.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, completely.
Well,
Who are parents?
Our parents.
They chain us in the basement and they make us play the song again and over again.
They make us do this stuff at the town hall.
Stoppies, listen to the Shags episode.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It really is good. It really is
a good one to go back to.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I'm not going to be calling back to this album, I think, on any future episode.
I think I might call back to Right Now. That's one for the Pantheon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a couple, 2-3 more here.
Yeah, let's move it along. So this one is called Digging for Gold.
Jesus.
And I would say keep digging.
See out on the water. Young enough to be his daughter.
Yeah, that's the line I wanted to make sure to get in there.
There are always questions in the heart of a millionaire.
All right. It's like there's a lot of nope going on here. It's sad because they like get you know, there's a little bit of like, oh, maybe he's gonna do a country song, like, and it's really saying something if I'm excited to hear a fucking country song.
It starts off as, oh, this is a not bad Garth Brooks
twangy,
song.
warbly guitar, and it at least has some rhythm to it. But nope, he's gonna just sing in a thin whine about being attracted to a teenager, I guess. That's
and she's a gold digger, that bitch.
It's the problem that
it is the way of the girl.
Every rich white guy faces. Does this girl love me for me?
No, of course not.
Or for my money?
Something we can all relate to. Being a millionaire, being, you know, the ladies are trying to take all your money.
All your hard-earned money. Just like the, you know, brown people are taking your jobs. Come on.
I like songs about the rich where you're supposed to side with the rich guy.
Yeah, really, really compelling art.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nobody cares, like, about your plight, dude. And it definitely doesn't sound like Chris Gaines cares either. It's just...
Is this about Chris Gaines himself, or is he telling a story?
I think it's Chris Gaines telling a story.
I don't know.
I think it's Garth
Chris Gaines
Brooks.
never wed, right?
It's Garth Brooks as Chris Gaines telling a story.
You couldn't tie down that Gaines. He never wed, right?
Did he marry
Did he marry and divorce anyone?
I don't know, dude. But all I was thinking was like, this is when I started, like, because it was so boring. I was like desperately trying to find like something to like dig into and psychoanalyze here. So I'm like, okay, digging for gold. Were you digging for gold, Chris? Did you believe that this was gonna be a hit? Did you really believe in this artwork? You obviously did to some level because you committed so much to it. Or was it just a controlled demolition so you could lower the world's expectations of you after just fucking, you know, selling millions of copies and just feeling like you couldn't live up to your myth? I don't know.
I mean, and again,
I could really go either way on that explanation, though. Like, who fucking knows?
Who knows? And also,
what
who cares?
The internal machinations were in this man's brain,
and it's just
that led to this finished product.
It's just telling as fuck that like he has like nothing to do with this record anymore.
Right. All that commitment went out the window as soon as people didn't appreciate it for what it was, you know? But he didn't even try to defend it.
It's like Bowie with Never Let Me Down.
Yeah.
Or The Return of Bruno, honestly.
Right.
It all comes back to Bruno. If there's anything I've learned on this show, is every album can be tied to The Return of Bruno.
Or Broken Side.
or Whatever by Godsmack.
Yeah, right. I don't know. There's nothing. We're now at song number 11 or whatever, and there's still no narrative to be found. Like, there's still no story arc or you know, conclusion. There's no climax.
Yeah, there's nothing here to suggest that this was a tortured, you know, artist.
No,
like working through his shit. There's just nothing. All I see is like a bunch of like B-roll shit that like Garth Brooks was just toying around with.
It's the musical equivalent of an Ann Taylor loft. It just is so...
Those are the only pants that...
I don't know.
Those are the only pants that fit me, though, honestly.
And that's more tortured than the emotional depth,
I mean, like the
of the struggle of putting on chinos. There's no torture. None of the story, the presumed story behind any of this. Remember that he was using this to prop up a movie release.
Yeah, like a whole
movie.
But
the movie never even went into production.
I know, but that's what's so... he called it a pre-soundtrack. Like, what does...
Chris Gaines' empire that just, did not come through, dude.
He just Homer Simpsoned into the bushes after this.
What? Chris Gaines? No, nothing to do. I don't know what happened. I was sleepwalking.
So was I throughout this entirety of this album.
I think this next song is pretty ambitious. I think this is his Sgt. Pepper's.
Oh yes, the Mellotron.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah. Well,
this is called Maybe.
It sure is.
You know.
Even the Beatles song is non-committal.
Maybe.
Never falling from the nest. Tuesday came and went.
There you go.
In a little situation.
I'd love to tell.
I could live alone, I guess. Maybe I could stand alone. Maybe
I can't do it anymore.
See, these are my influence. I'm influenced by the Beatles, man. Can't you tell by the Mellotron?
Oh my God. Just maybe this will be over soon. That's I mean, actually, definitively, it will be over soon.
I mean, yeah,
It's just...
I hadn't listened to this, and I don't even know if I listened to the whole thing when I initially got it, but like when I listened to that, I just like, and heard the Mellotron come in, and I was just like, I just audibly groaned. I was just like, oh, no.
I mean, it's more tepid falsetto, like sung by the living avatar of a tribal tattoo. Like, with these swellingly empty lyrics that go absolutely fucking nowhere, as usual.
Intrinsic intensity.
It's like music made by aliens where like a time capsule crashed in their planet, but the only thing in the time capsule was like Train's discography. Like an alien trying to figure out how to sound like Train. Or even conceive of what that is. It's such a different society on their planet that this is the best. This is the closest they could come to Train.
When that's your goal, God.
There's a line on this song that I think sums things up pretty well.
Okay.
And I appreciate him saying this.
Oh, God.
Which is, excuse me if I'm keeping you apart from better conversation.
You're not excused.
If I'm keeping you from listening to the sound of a fork in your garbage disposal.
Oh, my God. Can this whole thing just go back to Australia? Fake Australia, where from whence this it came.
This is a baby a dingo should have eaten.
Oh my God.
A dingo should have made off with Chris Gaines.
Oh, I'm Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
From Brisbane. I'm a sex addict.
This is compelling storytelling. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We can do the last song if you want.
We
yes.
sure can, and we
Put a
shall.
bow on this thing.
Let's do it. So this is the final track.
My love tells me so.
And when I do, you know, it will be such a sweet hello. Rising like the sun above the skyline. Love is brighter than ever before.
What?
And you didn't...
What?
Now this is the song that I think you could do a sick vaporwave remix of.
Oh yeah, I guess.
This is very vaporwave. This is very like
I could see
music as like artless commerce.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get synth trumpets in a fucking song, then
you're trying to sound like Chicago, but you're not using actual real horns.
Yeah, but filtered through like a mall speaker. Like yeah.
It paints a picture of a silicon panel.
Yeah. This is
a beige silicon panel.
And this is the culminating moment of this. I mean, this is the final statement of Chris Gaines. Like, the last thing.
His greatest hit.
His greatest hit.
Why didn't he end with the rap rock?
Oh my God, I know. The emotional depth of this album ranges from sad Chris Gaines in a bandana to vaguely distressed Chris Gaines with steeple fingers and a turtleneck.
Steeple fingers.
Like that and that.
Yeah.
And this really sums it all up. When you end with this like random, like kind of like pseudo Beatles harmonizing and like a jaunty Billy Joel synth piano line, like I don't. What?
Why? It all just comes.
It's so
back
baffling.
To why?
It's
why.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't think we're ever going to get the answer.
I wish we had been listening to Chris Gaines's fake third album, Fornicopia. That one sounded really fun.
My personal favorite is Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
I like Triangle. Fornicopia. Like, honestly, like, Fornicopia is pretty genius.
Fornicopia is the fourth one. Let me guess. Triangle's the third album?
No, because Triangle was the one that, like, failed.
They all failed.
Well, no, but it's the one that made him rethink his whole relationship with the record label.
Yeah, but they worked it out. God. They became, he just realized they needed to become partners. They just became partners,
yeah.
The name of the fake band was Crush, right?
Yeah, Crush.
What's the name, what's the Mr. Show sketch where it's, Oh yeah, the fake Oasis is called Smush. We're Smush. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, except joyless and inert.
God, I'm exhausted now.
I
It's
know.
like take a million naps.
It is a million
makes
naps.
You, like if you want to take a nap, listen to this record. You will fall
right asleep.
Right asleep.
Yeah, but it's not a soothing nap. It'll be a fitful, restless
like
sleep.
Sweaty, like
Yeah.
interspersed with dreams about like juggling clowns and mellotrons and soul patches.
It'll all look like really bad, like 1994, like computer animation. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a vaporwave sleeper hit.
This is good for the vaporwave heads.
Yeah.
Vapor heads.
The vape heads.
The vapors.
The vapors. I got the vapors. I wish I had the vapors. I wish I felt anything resembling a feeling after this. I
know. But I mean, it was amusingly bad.
We made it through, everybody.
We made it through.
We did great. Yay! Let's clap for something. Let's feel a feeling.
We do need to rate the album.
We do. And as our guest, Lisa, you get to decide what our quantifier is for the rating of this album. So from 0 to -5 of something.
Well, let's just go with the soul patch.
Of course.
Yes.
Just shreds
How
of
many
soul
patches.
Oh, man. How many soul patches? Negative soul patches, because this album has negative soul. It actually sucked my soul right out from inside me, and it'll take some cleansing to get it back. All right, so do you want to go first, Lisa?
The soul patch? I would give it 0 soul patches, like 0 soul patch, like one wispy little chin hair.
So 0 is true neutral. It means that it's like a -5 is the worst.
I see.
And then like beyond that is you're breaking the scale. It must be really terrible.
Yeah, I would say it's a -4.
Mm-hmm.
-4 soul patches.
Yeah, -4 souls.
4 soul patches cast into the void and made negative.
And why do you give it that rating, Lisa?
Well, I still want to give him props for trying. I still just want to give him, I don't want to hate Garth Brooks for this. I mean, I don't hate Garth Brooks.
No.
I hate Chris Gaines.
Hate is a strong word.
I hate Chris Gaines. Like, Chris Gaines, like, you just want to, like, throat punch him. Like, you're like, oh, my God, react to something. Here, poof. Like, bless you for, like, trying to branch out, but don't ever do that again.
Don't, no. And he never did.
Well, I don't respect him for trying. I don't.
No, we don't give brownie points.
I mean, nice. I respect him for bowing out as quickly as he did. And, he made the right call scrubbing this from the internet. If you didn't have a physical copy, we wouldn't have been able to do this episode, and we would have all been better off.
Yeah, it's true.
But here we are. That all being said, I do feel like this is just like a nothing album. It's just nothing.
Yeah.
It's the same feeling as listening to nothing when you hear the songs. With the exception of Right Now. But
we had to unfortunately like come up with witty things to say about it. So that's a little harder than nothing.
So it's kind of like it's a nothing album. It just exists. I'm gonna give it a -3, middle of the road.
All right.
It didn't affect me strongly enough to give it a lower score or a worse score, because it's nothing. So it gets a -3.
All right. Yes. So it's hard. Because I agree with you, Mike. I think the music itself, if you were just judging this based on the music, which, we do on the show, we have to rate the album itself. I would probably also give it a -3 or whatever, because it's nothing, but it's like, it's offensively nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's so, like ambitiously nothing.
Right.
That it's like really such a disaster because, that but not
it feels like squeezing like a planet-sized orange and getting like a drop of juice from it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, this is very flavorless. This is the Miracle Whip open face sandwich of music, which if I think about it, if somebody handed me a Miracle Whip open face sandwich, I would be fucking pissed off. I would be like, I'm sending this back. This is fucked up. So a -3 3.5, and I maybe would have gone lower, but I think the fucking documentary is just so funny. Like that in and of itself, like really redeemed this for me. It was so funny. And you do have to kind of admire the level of initial commitment that went into something that was it's so destined to be a failure from the very start. Like anybody with any level of sense must have seen, this coming, that this was, a terrible idea. And I think we get some really entertaining shit when artists are surrounded by yes men that just tell them, all right, go ahead. You sold this many records, so you can do no wrong. That's where a lot of the shit that we discuss on this show comes from, is that same level of hubris. Yeah. So for that, I'll give it a negative 3.5 soul patches.
All right.
And so that brings us to the end of our show. We want to thank you, our wonderful guest, Lisa McColgan, for being on the show.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. And now you get a chance to, redeem the past hour and a half of your life by shouting out anything that you got going on that we should pay attention to.
Well, Bikini Whale is playing in Mashfield, Mash Vegas, May 18th. We're playing with another tribute band, a Pretenders tribute band, cool. Pretendica. And then stay tuned for Stay Scary.
Cool.
Definitely. Yeah. Got a few episodes kind of mapped out and some guests lined up already, so.
Very cool.
And if you want to have me on and talk about the cool kids that have sex and die.
Yes. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening, Stoppies. We got more episodes coming up, and should we announce our very exciting season finale? It's a live taping of our season finale, which we are going to do on Sunday, I think June 2nd, at Somerville Media Center's Vox pop-up location in Assembly Row. We are going to have a wonderful cast of previous guests, and maybe we'll keep those ones a secret for now, but you should...
Big names.
Big names in the Stoppiverse. So we're really excited.
From some classic episodes making comebacks.
Yes, and we're very pumped about it. We just confirmed a whole bunch of them the other day, so add it to your calendar, Stoppies. June 2nd, we're going to be...
Man.
I know.
Should we just tantalize them?
Let's tantalize you. We're going to leave this, so make sure that you like, rate, and subscribe, and support us, and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, on iTunes or Spotify or wherever else. We are at www.makeitstoppodcast.com. You can email us at makeitstoppodcast@gmail.com, and you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at MakeItStopCast. Stay tuned. We'll leave it at that. We'll send you some little teasers.
Hey, tweet at us. Try and guess who the guests are going to be. What else?
Yes.
We're going to do. A little fan engagement with the Stoppies.
Yeah, we love that.
No one ever tweets at us. We want to be tweeted at.
Tweet at us.
Tweet at us.
Just tweet at us. Just tweet the words Chris Gaines.
Let us know that you listen.
Let's get Chris Gaines trending. Hashtag Chris Gaines. Nothing else. Don't tweet anything else with it. Just tweet hashtag Chris Gaines. Send.
Oh, man. All right. Thanks, Stoppies. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The Make It Stop podcast is recorded at the Boston Free Radio podcast studio located at Somerville Media Center in Union Square in Somerville. It is produced and edited by Heather McCormick, and the music that we use for our show has been produced by Patrick Ahern. Thanks for listening.